Hello everyone. Oh, Happy's here. Can you hear me? Come up with the yes you can hear me and then we'll get on with this. Can you hear me? I'm just going to assume you can. In fact, just for a second, what I'm going to do is I'm going to listen. Can you hear me? I'm just going to... Yep, yeah, that looks good. Right. Why has that stopped? Oh. This is not going to be up to my usual rubbish standard. It might be worse. Oh, let's get this one the right way. Look. Oh, I always focus on the computers, not me, but look. Amiga 37. In fact, what I should have is a picture of Amiga 37 up, shouldn't I? In fact, there were some pictures of me, apparently. But you don't want to see that. Right, so I know I say this every time, but it's going to be probably half hour, this one. But it'll be a Q&A. If there's questions, I'll answer. Okay, I'm happy to answer just about any questions. You might not like the answer. A couple of things though. It's not really. It's just really an update on the show. I had a fantastic time. And to be honest, did I have any time to go and see people? No, I was just talking constantly on the stand, and it was no, it wasn't hard work, but it was tiring, but no, it was great, absolutely brilliant. The drive there was like 8 hours, which is fine. I got there like 12:30 thinking I could set up on the Friday, and I couldn't. And I had to set up Saturday morning, so I was twiddling my thumbs for a few hours. Then decided to have a kip, and I felt much better. Before I have to thank Fuzzy for helping out in the stand, but also just being good, really good company, as he did with the last show. It's surprising just to have that someone to give you a hand, not to be there on the stand all the time, but, just to give you a hand and help you pack up, and that kind of thing was absolutely fantastic. So he was an absolute star, especially when I didn't have any cash and he bought me dinner on the Friday night. Or was it Saturday? No, was it Saturday? Well, yeah, Saturday night. I could have my credit card, but the place we went into did fantastic. It was a Turkish place, and fantastic kebab. It wasn't like in a doner, but it was a kebab meal. Fantastic. And I didn't have any cash, and they only took cash, so he stumped up the cash for that, which is great. What happened to the show? Lots. I suppose the usual thing. The monitors were really popular, I'm actually doing some work preparing for the Kickstarter, if you didn't already know. But the monitors were really popular, and so were the cases, because a lot of Germans have been thinking about getting one, but not actually physically seen one. So actually, in their own country, they could go up and touch it, and so that was really good. I'm not going to talk too much about this next bit, so I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to say who, but I think I've tied up European distribution with a German distributor, and so that's good news. I will make an announcement and the whole spiel soon once it's all completely finalised, but it's looking good, which is going to help me no end, because very few people are buying for Germany. There are still some who I really am grateful for, but most of the sales are going to like UK and USA, which is great, but of course that whole European continent is, I want to try and get that back, and this is hopefully going to solve that problem for me. So yeah, that was good news. What else? People really like seeing the monitors. But yeah, I suppose it goes without saying. The great thing is that people can, it's one thing me trying to get across the quality of the panels now, but then people can actually physically see them and hear the sound. I had to keep turning it down because it was a bit loud. They went down really well, and people love the cases. So I had two monitors there. I had that one there. You'll notice the backs look a bit neater. And that's because, in fact, let's there we go. You'll notice the backs look a bit neater. That's because I've taken. Well, they're still 3D printed backs, frames, but I've taken them all out and I've sprayed them the same colour. Okay. And for photographs, for the Kickstarter, so that's all prepped. And also the screws. The screws are staying, but with a but. One other person set up Amiga. I don't know who that was. Well, it's great. I didn't really get to look around much. So on the screws, so I don't think you can see this. Oh, hang on, look. Oh, so God, let's go back to this one, shall we? No, not that one. Let's go to that. Okay, you're gonna be like that, are we? Let's get that camera back, shall we? Bear with me. Properties. Yeah, it's worth getting this back. For some reason, it's gone a bit. Oh no. Why is it gone? That's disappointing. Okay, so basically, the screws are staying. And I originally was planning to do it a different way, but actually it was going to cost me a ton more money in tooling to do what I had in mind, and would have put the price, just not helping. So, because you can't, people say, oh, just put something in the back and screw from behind, but you can't because you never pull that out of the mould. So that's the rear panel is one great big thing. So you never get that, would never work. So, not that you can see them, but I'm going to be putting in countersunk screws. But I'm going to try and get them anodized with as close to the case colours. But the black's easy, right? I can just get them. Are they M4? They're meant to be M4. Well, that'd be annoying if they're not. But they're going to be anodized the same colour, so they should almost be invisible, unless you really look. But we have to have the screws to hold the speakers and pull them against the thing and seal the gaskets. So yeah, that's something that has subtly changed. But apart from that, most of the work's done. We're doing some changes, which I'm not going to talk about the changes. I've got all of Appy's boards, but I had a bit of a moment driving back. You're sitting there going, something dawned on me. So we're doing some changes to Appy's boards, which will bring the cost down immensely, and changing the whole way we're going about it. So but I'll explain more of that later during the Kickstarter. For those that ask, I've been doing a bit more HDMI testing. I wanted to just double check the testing with the latency, and I actually got it to 15.6. So the secret with these things, I use one of these testers. Okay, it's an HDMI tester, and what you have to do is you have to get that light as close to 0 as possible. And I've been getting it. I think I got 17.8, but I put it on the panel and I was just jiggling with it, trying to, you want a lower number, a legit number, right? So I got it on there, and it's actually 15.6. So it's absolute peak right at the beginning of the frame is 15.6. Now, what does that mean? It's still not going to please CRT people, but I never was going to. But that's less than 1/60th of a second, so 1 NTSC frame of latency. Okay, which I think is acceptable. I wouldn't notice it. I don't chase figures, but I wanted to have a frame of latency. So that's good news. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about this. Obviously, some of you may have seen this, but I just want to be clear on this whole thing with the Arcuda panel. I actually spoke to them 9 months ago. No, 6 to 8 months ago, I think. Something like that. About the panels, because they look. The only problem is they are bigger than mine. Bigger than my case. and they never had any stock. However, I've spoken to them again the last few days, because apparently they had some stock, but they're running out of them as well. So one of the things I'm going to do is, as you're probably aware, there's going to be a selection of panels, a small one, probably I'm going to pick one or three. So my default one, and hopefully a cheaper one, and then maybe a higher end one. So I'm going to go and discuss with them about potentially, I'm literally going to go out there and meet them, and as part of seeing a lot of people, but yeah, so and see if that panel can be, it'd have to be, because I'm not going bigger than 19 inch. I mean, it's just not worth it. But go and discuss with them the chances. I still believe in this panel, this one here. I know it's not absolutely optimum. Now, question pops up, and I'm saying a lot of this for people who are going to look at just want to have a look. But because of this choice of panels, now my choice is 1280 by 1024, mainly because I can get good industrial ones. That's kind of the standard, and you can get really good ones and really good quality at reasonable but not cheap price. But you can get other panels, and now we can get potentially 4.3 panels as an option. Now, if you're an Amiga fan, you don't care about 4.3 because it was 5.4. Anyone who looks up, does the measurements on PAL, I'm talking about PAL. If you're looking at PAL, all the Europeans, 5.4 is correct. So it's really one of those. 4.3 is great for Americans and people with game systems that actually ran in 4.3. But then Europeans, we all ran 5.4. So it's as I said, with my 5.4s, it all works in 4.3. A little bar, but 32 pixels above, 32 pixels at the bottom, and it works fine, and scales nicely. But there's potentially now the other thing, of course, is there's obviously some caveats to this. This is one of the things I'll be saying in the Kickstarter, that I'm selling the chassis and the controller and the speakers as the main part of the Kickstarter, and then down the halfway through the Kickstarter campaign, once I've got my choice of panels, you'll be able to choose a panel, give me your address, pay for the shipping, pay for the panel, and then we do it exactly the same as we did with the cases, and just choose the panel if you want any extras that we've got. So that's how it's going to work. Now, I'm not averse to people just buying the chassis now and putting in their own panel, bearing in mind what we'll probably end up doing is you're probably going to have to do a little bit of DIY. And my only concern is the firmware. If you're using our controller, you won't be able to buy it without a controller because it's just I'm just done this deal, got a good price. It's going to go out with everything. If you want to take my controller out, which is not overly expensive, if you take that out and put your own in, that's fine. So that option is going to be there for people who want to have the look but put their own panel in. Now, let's be serious. Our Kuda's 20.1 panel won't fit. I don't want to increase the size of it. I just don't, because I think that's a mistake. I think it's fine the way it is. The size we've got, I think is just nice. And plus, the fact I'm concerned about this stock. Not concerned about the quality because from everything I've seen, I've talked to them, the people, and they seem really great people. But it's obviously aimed at a certain target audience, which I totally understand. And it's been very well received. So, but it is a bit big for my monitor, and I can't, because they're saying the next one that they're going to do is going to be bigger. So it's pointless for me, doing that. So 19-inch, 17-inch panels, then we'll go from there. So anyway, let's answer some questions. I put a message up on my Facebook group about this. Let me switch screens. About this. So over the last couple of months, 3 months. Well, actually, no. To be fair, this goes back to 2009. I did a little Amiga. Paid for all the drivers, and made this little self-contained atom-based system, which is brilliant. Sold about 15-20 units, but that wasn't the point. But it did mean, which I'm really pleased with. You lot probably know about this, but it means that AROS could run on this little machine and is fully supported with 3D, Wi-Fi, everything. Absolutely amazing. So I'm having another go at this. So I found a supplier of motherboards, a specific motherboard, which I will release later on, and but you'll understand why in a minute. Which are reasonably large stock. The motherboards are new. No, sorry. The motherboards are second-hand reconditioned stock, so they've been used. That's the motherboards, but the RAM, the CPU, the drive system, everything else is brand spanking new. Okay, it's just the motherboard, because on that motherboard is NVIDIA 3D graphics, HD audio, also has networking. That is not supported. So I'm actually. I was going to pay for the driver, but a really kind gentleman, one of my patrons, Peter Membry, has stood up to the plate because he knows how much I'm spending on his monitors. And he was going to pay half, and he offered to pay for the whole thing. So we're going to be taking the funds that were originally sent to Alex Cheney. That money is being returned. I've received mine. I think Peter's getting his. As soon as he gets it, he's sending it to me. So what we're doing is we're going to get that driver done for that board. Now I will. Now the actual board. Let's see if I can find a picture. Yeah, you can't really pick out much from that. It is quite. They're old boards, but they've got this. They're really good. I've had one for a long time, and I wanted. But I actually found a stock where you can get these things. And as I said, they're all cleaned, reconditioned. Well, reconditioned. You don't recondition, do you? You just clean them. I think it might have even been in a sonic bath or something like that, because they're really nice and clean. They look almost new, except the ports a little bit. But they run well, and that's the main thing. And AROS flies, because this thing I've got brand new CPUs. They're 2.8 gigahertz. They're single core because it's 32-bit. And it absolutely flies. Now I'm going to do a video probably next week, once the driver's done. As soon as Neil Kafaki's finished the driver, I'm going to demonstrate the machine, and then I'm basically going to start selling. Now I'm going to sell them for probably a month myself. I'm going to constantly sell them, but what I'll do, I think I'm hopefully going to do this at Christmas. What we'll do is we'll put the driver in the main repository, and it will go into the updates and be available to anyone who wants to use it. And then I'll tell people where they can get the motherboards, or I'll supply the motherboards. But to start with, I do want to sell a few cases complete with the systems in. Now the price of the systems at the moment, the standard system, starter system with everything ready to go, that's basically what you see here. The case, the motherboard, the RAM, 2 gig RAM, CPU, drive. I'm using compact flash drives, and I know people will go, oh God, why? The main reason is because it needs IDE, it doesn't work with the SATA. And they are pretty good, and you can just swap them out, put another one in, which is quite nice. You can always swap and put up if you can get some IDEs, because I can get brand new compact flash, and they're really reliable. I've been using mine for ages. And AROS doesn't need high speed. Well, they are fast actually. They're like 150 megabytes a second, which is bloody fast than the hard drive. They do work well. There'll be upgrades. Now, so, okay, the price. So the price, that lot there. Well, let's find one with a. Right. Okay, so the price without the water cooler, which is the normal air cooler, at the moment is $399 plus VAT. Okay, and plus VAT and shipping, but that's going to include the case, motherboard, everything in there. I'm even going to throw in one of my nice white keyboards for the first handful, and so it's going to be really economic. And then later on, the motherboards and CPU and everything, probably about £90, £99, something like that. Okay, so if you want to just buy the board and put it in, they are micro ATX. They won't go into mini ATX motherboard cases. It is a micro ATX case. Yeah, no, it won't. Sorry, yeah. Well, you probably asked just before I said this, but they're micro ATX. They won't go in the mini, so you need to put them in the plus. But it does mean if you do want to put something in, you can put something in the slots still. And that's the whole point. You can see on this picture, that's actually a network card, because at the moment, obviously, the driver's not finished. Once that's done, it frees up that, and you can have vertical slots or you can have horizontals. Theoretically, you could put, if you get anything up to a GTX 400 series, you could put one of them in it and make it even faster. But to be honest, this is light years faster than the GMA and the Atoms. And for most people on AROS, I think this is more than good enough. And it's a nice little machine, but if you want more, go and build your own. But you will be able to buy these boards. And then because it's putting a GPU in is a bit more tricky, but I do it with that one there, over there. That's got a GTX 1080. It fits. So you can fit it. But trust me, that with a water cooler, that water cooler is like 70 quid. But it keeps it very quiet. It's got my own power supply in it because the draw's not too high, and I'm happy with that. So yeah, that's something I'll be talking about probably next week. What is your wife? Oh, what is your? My wife says I only have 2 falls. I don't listen, and something else. There you go. So yeah, the show was great. It's hard to say because I just spent all the time talking. I had a talk on the stage. It seemed to be some people, there was about half full. Obviously Amiga Bill packed. I turn up, it's just me. And it didn't appear to be in the stream. They didn't record it, so you can't see it. That was quite good fun. I'm used to doing it, so it's all good. Party was fun. It was. Look, this is gonna be controversial. I preferred the last time. It was slightly different because this one was good for the music, fantastic for music and stuff, and listening to Hoffman and Ravi, and I don't know the name of the other bands in the band because there was 2 music rooms, but it was just really noisy, and I'm not getting any younger, and so I'm really tired. And then you go bang, 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 bang. In fact, on the actual after party on the Saturday night, don't take this the wrong way, Ravi, but when you did your second set, I'm sitting on these like side things, and like it's just like a cupboard almost, and I'm sitting on top of it, and he hit this really deep bass. It was rattling me kidneys. Out. I had to go. That was it. So I left at that point, but that was about 1:30. But no, it was good. Ravi was great, and Hoffman was obviously great. They were both great fun to watch. So yeah, but in the other room there was I actually shared a thing a bit. There was a band that was doing the music from Beast, which is really good, but they were doing it as rock. It was actually really, really good. So yeah, it was good. It was not quite as because we didn't really get to talk to anyone. So I basically spent the day, both days, chatting to people, which is brilliant. But I had hoped to be able to talk to some certain people offline, but then we just didn't happen. So that was sadly one of those things. But no, when they do another one, I'll definitely go back because it's, as I said at the show, the German audience has always been really important to me because they, especially with Siamese, I sold more Siamese systems to Germany than any other country. So they were great. I had a good distributor, obviously. So hopefully it's going to happen again with the new one. And I'll tell you about that soon. Okay, someone asked me a question. Someone's already put a question in. Oh, what does your wife say on the shirt? Can't read. I've done Come on, because I'm going to end it early. If people ain't going to ask me questions, because there's not an awful lot really to say at the moment. I mean, look, as I say, the monitors are ready for the Kickstarter, and I've sprayed the rear panels. So they'll look a bit better for the photographs. Now I took these to the show, and you know they just brilliant. Appy's is up there, obviously, and they both went down really well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to get rid of them bloody screws though. Them screws are going to be gone tomorrow. And then I've got a lot of videos to do. Like I released a video today, which is about the Dreamcast running on the monitor in composite. I'm going to do some of them for different platforms, some demonstrations, so you can see. For example, I have my 1084S and my PVM running the same thing, and the big monitor. And I know, well, it might look better obviously, but you know that's just the way it is. But they look softer, the old ones. But more to the point is, if you watch the video at the beginning, you see the interlaced display doing that, and my dead solid. So I'm not sure. Hopefully people picked up on that, because it's not just about being able to run 32240 games, zero latency as far as I'm concerned, but you know that there is a benefit in that. I posted the video to your stage talk. Oh, I didn't even realise there was. I might share that if anyone's interested. Do you know what? I said to them on the stage, do you want to see it? Because the guy says to me, what does the Amiga mean to you? Christ. And so I said, do you want to see a grown man cry? You know, but I steered away from my first marriage. So it was all good. Steered away from that bit. But yeah. It's just, you know. I'm going to have a look at that later, because I'd be interested to see that. Right, so if you lot haven't got any questions, because I ain't got much more to say at the moment, and I'm going to go sit with my wife and watch a bit of TV, and then get up again in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, with Alfie saying, "Can I have porridge, Dad?" Which is great fun. So come on, questions, or I'm going. That's the only trouble with this, is you get a lag between because I'm watching it here, you get a bit of a lag between when I say something, but it doesn't look, apart from asking me what the shirt says, which I've already done. I'm taking this out. Probably not going to ride this particular one, but the one in the garage. Going out on Sunday. See if I can splatter myself. Got a nice motocross track I'm going to fly around, and they've got an enduro track there as well. So I'm going to give that a go. Right, there's no more messages. So again, as I've not got an awful lot to say, but there will be, because the Kickstarter, I mean, I'm literally working. I've probably done about half of the Kickstarter page. I've got a lot of video to put in it now. So there's quite a bit of work to be done on that. And the plan is... Is there a date you're hoping to launch Kickstarter? Not a specific date, but more than likely in a couple of weeks, because I have to get it rolling. I'm really nervous on this one, probably more so than the other two. First one I was quite nervous, but this time it's different, because that was just a hobby. If it didn't happen, what's it cost? £1,000. It's got a case, fine, had some fun. It's different this time because I'm doing this full time, so it's just me. For anyone out there who thinks Checkmate is this big company, if you do think that, I've done a great job. But the truth is, it's me. And in my spare room, and I have got a nice industrial unit where I assemble everything. But yeah, it's just me, so it's not some big conglomerate. So it's really, really important. And the truth is, if it doesn't work out, I'll probably go and get another coding job, a day job, and just turn it back into a hobby again. But we'll see, because I've got things I want to do after the monitor. There's things going on in the background which I'm not mentioning. Oh, my old Bang & Olufsen is there, yeah. So yeah, it should be within a couple of weeks. So expect quite a lot of you lot are going to be really important. I can need you to shout from the rafters. It's going to be really important, because it's not for someone coming in thinking, "Oh, I'm just going to get a monitor." Oh, okay, how much is that? Oh, it's a bit more expensive than than a normal 16:9 panel. If you're looking at a 16:9 panel, I normally pay 100 to 150. So I know exactly, and it ain't nothing like that. You have to look at IPS, 5.4 panels, and they're a lot more money. And I'm kind of in that ballpark. So for what it is, and compared to its competition, well, there isn't any competition, but compared to something close to its competition, it's a little bit more. But the main cost, half the cost, is the chassis, literally. So literally half of it is the cost of the tooling, etc. And because I'm not making 100,000 of them, and I'm making probably 1,000, maybe if I'm lucky 2,000, it it does put the price up. But if you understand the price of my cases, then you kind of understand it's not far out, So I don't think people are going to be too scared. But I'm a bit nervous about it. So because there's a lot riding on this now. Right, do you think the Amiga parties will ever get out of court? Would love to get a new Amiga board in my checkmate one day. Look, there's plenty of people doing Amiga systems, either for like the AWAS machine or the Amiga or the Vampire. There's lots of them coming along, and all's going to happen if they do finally sort their bloody selves out. I'm talking about the two key parties. Excuse me. If they do sort themselves out, they're probably just going to go and talk to one of them anyway, and just make it legit. Hopefully, in my case. But it's just a personalities thing. It's not a business thing. It just doesn't make any sense. Makes no bloody sense to me at all. And I'm sure you feel the same way. But nothing we can do about it until it happens. Right. I'm going to pack up now, because I've got not much more to say. I'm literally just waffling now. So this one's not the most interesting one in the world. Next one, I probably will do one next week. As soon as I don't smash myself up and end up in hospital. But yeah, so thanks so much for joining in. Not seeing any more questions. If you back the Kickstarter, thanks so much. If you don't back the Kickstarter but you like it, please spread the word. I can't ask for any more than that. That's all you have to do. If everybody contacts like all the big retro channels and retro sites, and some of the big hacktivists, hackaday, whatever, those kind of things, contact them, because last time we got some pretty good coverage, and if everyone sees it and decides they don't like it, well, fair enough. But if everyone sees it and do like it and back it, then that'd be great. Same thing as before. It's over. It's it's over designed. I've been looking at some of my competition. There's some 19-inch panels made with a metal chassis for industrial kind of things. They got a similar kind of industrial panel, and I think for 400 quid, right? And they haven't got the plastic. It's just metal chassis. It's like, oh God, you know what I mean? I've got a metal chassis and a huge amount of the decorative plastic around it, and you know what I mean. So I'd buy one, and I'm one who buys the cheap monitors normally. But anyway, as you can probably tell, I'm a bit nervous about it. But there you go. All right, thanks very much, guys. As always, I can't remember how to turn this off. There, look, it's there. Look, there's the button. If I press that button, and then when I press that button, it stops. So probably see you next week. Thank you.